I would like to share with you some thoughts I wrote down for myself. The title that I've given it now is The Intuitive Mind and the Rational Mind. Early in the 20th century, Albert Einstein made this observation. The intuitive mind is a sacred gift. The rational mind, a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. This is a statement that was made nearly 100 years ago, just as a reminder. I would like to briefly examine this statement in relation to the work of the practice. Only in retrospect have I become fully aware that the body of work the practice produced was a result of an intuitive approach. An approach that was clearly confirmed to a significant degree by the faithful servant of rationality, as architecture is a practical art. So a wedding between intuitive design and a rational approach to construction. Having personally enjoyed longevity, it has afforded me the opportunity to look back and to see our work in some sort of perspective. The trail was set in motion when I was 10 years old by what could only have been an instinctual but firm awareness that my future was destined to be in architecture. It was simply triggered by the making of a thin cardboard model of a church in a handcraft class. I grew up in a terrace house that had direct access onto common land in Harpenden, at that time a rural village in Hertfordshire, which was located 25 miles from London. The common land provided a large area of roaming in an area of natural vegetation that in turn was surrounded by arable farmlands. So an environment that by direct experience encouraged the development of a love and respect for nature and the natural world. The outbreak of war when I was 14 introduced further unusual freedoms and experiences. With the bicycle as my transport, I spent summer holidays farming and Christmas holidays as a postman. At 18, military service for 4 years meant that I qualified for an ex-serviceman's grant for the full-time study of architecture on my demobilization, graduating at the late age of 27. After graduation, I spent 3 years working with Lord Esher first in Hatfield New Town and subsequently, when the office moved, in London. Emigrating in 1957, I spent a grounding period while employed by Menson Moore, followed by a short partnership with Colin Laird, then founding my own practice in 1968 with one key client, the Royal Bank of Canada. The design approach adopted was based upon the skeleton of a conveniently revolutionary European modernist tradition, refined by consideration of climate and the functional incorporation of elements of nature, always within the context of an architecture for people. It was an intuitive approach that was developed largely in isolation, as the island's history was virtually bereft of any meaningful architectural tradition, as was the case in other ex-colonies like India and Sri Lanka, who had their own original, very rich traditions. Middle-class housing in the suburbs of Port of Spain provided the one exception. The gift of the intuitive mind was exercised to the best of our abilities in those years, but this commitment to the development of regional expression was to a significant degree confined by the operation of a two-party political system that substantially precluded our direct involvement in the development of communities, which remain as the hegemony of the ruling elite. Our current national policy of design, build, construction, clearly politically motivated and controlled, honors the servant and forgets the gift. So the relentless march of a barren global materialism that is the living enemy of any progressive architectural vision continues its journey virtually unchallenged to the detriment of the planned development of our communities.